Hey everybody, this is SD1. I am joined by Joe748. What's up, Joe?
Hello, hello.
And we got two of my favorite APs in the whole world. Really, really entertaining. We got BCD. Say what's up, BCD.
What's good?
And SmurfAP.
What's up, SD? What's up, Joe?
BCD, what does your name stand for again? Buoyancy Compensator Device?
Stands for Big Chest Day.
Okay, so that leads us into the topic of our podcast today, which is the main topic is being healthy on the road. Kind of tips on how to be more healthy, how to get more exercise in between the tables. But before that, we kind of want to get into like what you guys have been up to after the last podcast we did with you all.
Yeah, we took a break from blackjack. We started a barbershop in our local area, going back to our roots.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to learn, different businesses outside of APing. In a sense, we also needed to be home more often. I had a house to take care of. My family was retiring. My parents were. It just seemed right at the time. I mean, right at the moment. So I do have a couple of players playing for me currently, because I still love the game, but I'm not as active as I once was.
What did you find like starting that business? How did that compare to blackjack? Like,
no variance money. That's good.
For me, it's a totally different mindset. I was thinking about, I don't know, when I was on the road, I was just thinking about doing other stuff outside of blackjack and how like other businesses scale and how everybody else makes money. Obviously, like I've always had I don't know if I've mentioned this in other podcasts, but I always sometimes struggle with the moral aspect of just making a living off of like reaping money from other people without giving anything directly to whoever you're servicing. So, and that's something I always wanted to get into, and I was always just reading a lot of sales books and everything, and so I figured if I wanted to get into something, we'd just go back into the roots of something that I knew how to do, which was cut hair. But I wanted to build something like our mindset now is more so to how do we build not just a service for our customers, but also like an infrastructure for the people that work for us and how they can provide for themselves. Obviously, another way to do that would be to maybe train people how to do blackjack, right? But you guys got that covered, so we wouldn't want to outlift you guys there. So, there's a lot that goes into business, and that's different.
Yeah, I think we talk about it a lot. Part of it is the money you can make. So it is easy just to be like, I'll get the hours in when I want to get them in. And sometimes you're in a phase where it's the opposite, where you like can't get your brain out of just going and cranking hours and you need to force yourself to take time off. But you're also dealing with the soul-sucking environment of the casino, which takes its toll on you for sure. What things about AP have you used in your business? Attention to detail, records.
Oh yeah, well, records.
Risk.
I'm just kidding. No, risk management, obviously, yes, for sure. Cash flow. That's just like bringing a trip bankroll, right? So cash flow, having records and, trying to scale.
what's easier about running the barbershop and what's harder about it compared to blackjack? You kind of touched on what's easy. You kind of touched how you don't have to be on the road. It's nice having customers who actually like you versus kicking you out.
That's Tom's.
What was like?
Maybe actually that's Tom's favorite, right?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed when like the people, like the surrounding, the client, whatever, the casino hated me. I kind of like that. I like when dealers hated me. In a world where you're trying to please everyone in barbering, it takes a toll on you too in a different way. It's just like, oh man, you always gotta fake it till you make it. You always gotta put a smile on your face, regardless if this guy is an asshole. Versus like in the casino, I'm like, oh okay, if you want to be an asshole, I'm just gonna keep playing with you, and I like it. I maybe that's just different for me. Yeah. Right? It doesn't make me feel as guilty not tipping either.
For those who don't know these two or haven't heard their first podcast, they've both played hundreds of hours combined. Probably hundreds and hundreds of thousands is correct, somewhere in there. They've been involved in high-profile lawsuits against casinos for misconduct. So going back to playing on the road and grinding the hours, a big part of it is trying to be healthy. And this was something that both of you two you traveled a lot together, right? Like played as a team together?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there was a big focus on like eating healthy or getting exercise on the road. Can you kind of explain what you two did to maintain those habits?
Honestly, for me, it was definitely just keeping sane on the road. You're dealing with so many stressful environments, emotional swings of the game, and the only one that kept me grounded was taking out my stress on the weights. I felt like it was a great therapy kind of thing. So, and also, before that, I was already lifting maybe 3 years prior to professional blackjack. So I had to keep that habit going. So that was my motivation to keep going, and we needed a place to shower.
I'll send you the photo. So we got into blackjack together, and we were lifting before. I was more so getting into getting lean and quote unquote toned, and right, and he was all about just building muscle.
BCD.
And I would think that was just the jock way. Obviously, I'm totally different now. I agree with him. So when we first got into blackjack, my mindset was just all in on blackjack. I just wanted to maximize as much money as we can make, and my mentality was like, "Hey, let's just get rich first, and then I'll have all the time in the world to lift." Right? But after all the swings and trying to save up for a bankroll, obviously it doesn't happen overnight. So my health went down in the drain. So we took a break. He took a break from blackjack first.
Yeah.
We hit our mark. We hit our first $100,000 bankroll. Then he took a break from blackjack, and I was on the road by myself. And the first time I was on the road by myself, I did a cross country trip from the East Coast to West, coast to coast, no stops, except for just to maybe sleep or use the bathroom. And all I was eating is McDonald's or whatever fast food is on the road. And I was hammering this one casino off that play. Remember that Red Flex play that you told me about back in the day? And during that time, I had a bloody stool. I was thinking, it was what the heck is going on? And then I hit super bad variance the next day, and that all this the same day. And then this casino had no right to back me off because they're not allowed to, in that certain state. And then somebody was trying to rob me out in the parking lot, right? I had to have armed security. So all at once. And I was like, dang. So definitely out of shape, and my health was deteriorating. So definitely I had to make a change and just always lifting all the time. So, but also my second stint, the gym just kept me sane because there's nothing else to do on the road. It's either just going to chill in your hotel room and just, look through your phone or something. There's nothing to do. Maybe watch a movie by yourself, right? While you're waiting for, I don't know, the casino to get busier or the tables to open up. So all I had was a gym to, hang out and obviously, taking a shower. That's actually a serious thing, right? Because you never know where you're going to be. Any given night, you don't know which town or state or city you're going to be in. So the gym is someplace I know I can just maybe hang out and take a shower, brush my teeth.
I also remember SmurfAP was like, "Hey, let's just hit the tables," and I was like, "Bro, we gotta work out first. We gotta shower or get a lift in because I needed it." But there's a lot of frustration, conversation. We're just like, "Oh, bro, we just gotta get to the tables." But eventually, we both got on the same page, and now we're always like, we gotta hit the gym first, and then we go to the casinos.
Did you ever find out what was going on there when you going back to the bloody stool problem? Because that could be a really serious thing.
They didn't really touch on anything. I think it's just that I was just kind of maybe super constipated or something like that, because they just gave me some stuff to soften my stool. They just prescribed some laxatives and just changed my diet of stuff to the. And I think it was just because I was so gung ho on getting to casinos and getting hours that I wouldn't even stop for breaks to use the bathroom. I was and I would just be no, I'm just going to sit in this chair. I have a bunch of sessions where I'm there, a couple maybe longest session, maybe 28 hours. But then there was sometimes you have weeks of 16 hours a day, literally not moving. And all I'm doing is drinking coffee because as you know, right? You can walk into one casino and they'll only let you play for 5 minutes. You drive another 4 hours and it's another 5 minutes. And when you finally find yourself in Bumble F somewhere that's letting you play for some weird reason, you're going to try to take as much advantage of the time as you can.
Yeah. I want to do a quick side this is related, but I feel like it's really important. I have a good friend who's like at mid 30s, and he noticed he would see like a red line like in his stool, and that would happen like at first it was happening like it was like twice a year. It was like, whatever. And then it was like once every 3 months, and it was like, okay. And then it was like once a month, and then it became like once a week. And then at that point it was like, then he went to go get it checked up, and it was just like stage 4, colon cancer. So it's like really important to check and see, because it's just like there's like higher and higher cases of like younger people getting this. And they did all the genetic tests, and there was no genetic markers for it. Like it wasn't a hereditary thing. So
I remember you telling me that story, but I had a similar scare myself. I went ahead and did like all the preemptive stuff, like got a colonoscopy and all that. We're getting really raw in this podcast. I got a colonoscopy at 39, I think. Yeah, because now they recommend it at 40. But actually, they pushed it back even later, which is insane to me. So, yeah, insurance was like, I mean, my doctor told me, he's like, yo, just so you know, insurance is not going to pay for this. If you were 40, then it would be completely covered, because that's when they say you need to get it done. He's like, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. So go get checked out. Everything was good. Kind of same with you, Smurf. That he actually just put me on fiber every day, which everybody should be on fiber. Young and old, trust me. It makes everything wonderful.
Hey,
anyway,
aren't you the proponent for bidets as well?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I bidets and squatty potties, kids. Bidets and squatty potties.
We had this conversation back in the day.
But yeah, health-wise, as an aside, I'm glad you went down this road. Aside from the working out and eating well and whatnot, I feel like going to a doctor, especially when you're young, is something that people skip out on, like regular checkups, things of that nature. Any care you can get to check things out and know, like from your family history, like that on the health side is like really, really important. And you're going to start knowing it even more the older you get. But like in your example, Joe, your friend was in his 30s.
yeah. So, okay. Can you kind of take us through your daily routine? And then like, how did you improve your diet also while on the road?
Be more healthy. I mean, so we're very heavily into like natural bodybuilding. So we take a lot from certain guys, like let's say like Clay Norton, Jeff Nippert, a lot of the big names. We follow those type of things and their books and everything. The big thing is we watch our macros. Fiber is you always want to get a good amount of fiber, like 25, 30 grams of fiber per day. And then, just hydrate. So those type of things, and always lift. Building muscle is pretty huge. Do something that's enjoyable to you. You don't have to lift it. I mean, we do recommend everybody lift and build muscle. It's just so much better for anybody at any age. Osteoporosis when you're older. Mm-hmm. There's even some studies now that it's having muscle mass is actually what combats diabetes, and it's not just weight loss and your diet. It's actually having muscle on your body. And there's things that help you. It's really crazy how physical fitness, doing something active is good for your brain, for your emotional, your health. And there's people that like come out of depression from like lifting weights. But our routine is just to get enough protein. We watch our macros. We find out what our caloric intake is, and just to do accordingly, because we still, like, if you've seen those progress pictures that I showed you, I still did that off of fast food or whatever I could find on the road, but we just watch our macros and make sure you lift. Because you get rid of
and protein.
Yeah, you get get rid of a lot of morbidities by just having
by building more muscle.
Like a certain amount of like lean body mass
as a natural ratio, in general. Just I always recommend just finding something that you enjoy, like find something that keeps you active while actually utilizing your muscle. Because I feel like if you just love running all day, you're gonna be in great cardiovascular health, but I feel like your muscles are gonna take a beating. Your body's consistently trying to go catabolic in a sense, so you got to use it before you lose it, kind of thing. Do whatever. You don't have to be a powerlifter. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but do something that keeps your muscles moving. And then on top of that, prioritize calories and protein and fiber. And then the carbs and fats will fall right in.
Colin recently recommended a book, and I'm almost done with it. Joe, I don't know if you read it or not. Dr. Peter Attia's Outlive. He is really good about explaining all this stuff because he's like, yeah, you guys like focusing on macros and things of that nature. At the end of the day, it really is, if you're too nutrient rich, in other words, if you're eating too much, which most people in this country do, you need to run a caloric deficit in some way, shape, or form. You need to have a certain amount of cardio. You need to lift heavy shit. You need to lift weights. And you don't need to be perfect because, as they say, there's so much that the diet factors in for sure for overall health. But then when it comes to lifting, showing up means everything. You know, lacing up your shoes and showing up. It doesn't have to be a perfect workout. And on the days that you just do not feel like doing it, just do something. You don't have to be that strict like you are a bodybuilder. Obviously, being an athlete and a bodybuilder, then you got to be more strict to what you do. But for overall health, I mean, and on the road, like, so for you guys, I'm sure you couldn't, like you said, eating wise, you're like, you are checking calories, macros, protein, all that stuff. So a little bit more granular, but overall, it's not like you could necessarily eat the most healthy thing in the world every single time. Could you guys lift the exact way you wanted to every single time either?
I just kept lifting whatever keeps me, I guess, motivated in the gym. That's what kept me going. Because if you hate your workout, you're not going to sustain that whole kind of venture of yours. So I always try to just go to the gym and find what I want to do. Of course, no one really wants to pick up heavy things and lift it and put it back down. But in the end of the day, that's how I was like, okay, well, this has to be done. So I got to make it as enjoyable as possible. And then on top of that, it's not perfect, but I can get it done. Like, Joe can attest to this. Going to Planet Fitness, you can't really lift like certain things that you want to. Most of it is Smith machines. They're only up to 75-pound dumbbells, so you can't really do exactly what you want. You're limited. But any kind of resistance is better than no resistance. So in terms of diet, I was the guy who was just like, okay, I'm going to go to Panda Express every day, get grilled chicken teriyaki and super greens and maybe a little bit of carbs or even any kind of teriyaki spot, and just kept prioritizing protein and a little bit of vegetables for the fiber and some carbs and fat.
Let's talk about that because, I mean, you can also fall into a lot of traps if you're in this bodybuilding lifestyle where it's just like you're using bulking as an excuse, even though you only need 300 calories, which is like 2 Oreos, essentially, to be in a caloric surplus. But I think a lot of people get into that trap where they're like, oh, as long as I hit my macros and everything, I can still eat like terrible.
Dirty bulk.
But claim that it's for, yeah, right. How do you avoid getting into that trap? Like when you go to these places like Panda Express and things like, when you look at the menu, it's like, how do you make that item more healthy when you're choosing?
How I would do it, I always check the protein to fat ratio. That's the one thing I do. And then I see the overall calories. So me and Smurf used to actually have like a weight scale with us at times. And we used to weigh ourselves every day, like in the morning after taking a dump and piss. And that's kind of a good gauge on how that's a good gauge to see how your weight is fluctuating, on top of, looking at yourself in the mirror, body composition wise, seeing if you're actually seeing a change. So, I mean, it depends on your goals. If you're trying to bulk, you're trying to cut, but for maintenance reasons, when you see yourself getting a little too carried away, then you either got to pick up more activity or you got to go for the healthier alternatives, meaning like higher protein, less fat, lower calories, and try to stick underneath like a 2,000 calorie diet.
Yeah, I think people are going to maybe listen to you guys a little bit and be like, okay, these are bros. They're all about just crushing their protein and, being in the gym twice a day. But you guys took it really seriously. And I just want to this discussion about eating healthy on the road, working out, the importance of it. You don't have to do what BCD and Smurf did. Obviously, they were into natural bodybuilding, but what they did still translates to what we are on the road, especially if you're consistently getting that free buffet from the casinos or their crappy food. Some of the buffets are less than desirable to eat. They're not all like Caesar's level in Vegas.
Buffets, I always used to walk around and look for the leanest protein they have, and I eat at least as many plates as I can until I'm actually satiated. Because everyone can eat the fun foods right away. If you fill yourself with fun foods, your calories shoot up through the roof. So I always go for, let's say if I at least see lean turkey or something like that, or lean beef, I just eat that multiple plates until I'm pretty full. Then I have my fun foods. I'm already full, so I'm not going to eat much of it. And I go for fruits and vegetables as well. That's what I do in buffets.
Where are some other places that you guys or your go-to spots to eat healthy when you're traveling?
There's a guy that recommended Thai Time in Seattle. in Seattle.
I just like the waitress.
So we used to always eat the chicken there, skip the dessert. Nah, but, like places like, I don't know if you guys have a Salads Works or Chipotle, even Chipotle.
That's my go-to. Chipotle is my go-to on the road.
Or teriyaki chicken places.
Yeah,
right?
teriyaki chicken spots. If you go to like burger spots, you go for the leaner alternatives, like if they had elk or if they had bison, things like that. Stay away from the mayo. It's just choices in the end of the day. Yeah, that's it. Chipotle, like a lot of people get carried away. They're like, oh man, I got triple sour cream and triple guac. And I feel like there's certain things that you can kind of avoid.
Yeah.
To kind of like limit like put a hold on your calories in a sense. That's how we did it in Chipotle. I just prioritized the chicken, the beans, maybe some salad, avoid some cheese sometimes,
What about the difference in when you guys would play, not necessarily be eating well, not necessarily working out? Could you tell the difference in your play and your stamina throughout the day versus when you were getting your protein in, you were working out?
I don't know. It could have, but I don't think so for me. I mean, it probably, because I was younger then. Yeah, that would be a little bit of a stretch for me. I wouldn't know. I mean, I could probably make the argument for that it would help, but maybe I'd be on the road longer. You just feel better, way better overall. I think I was less stressed. I'm not sure.
I feel like I didn't notice a difference unless my body composition was a lot bigger or a lot leaner. So that came along with the calorie intake that I was consuming. When I got pretty lean, I would say I was below 10% body fat, that's when I started noticing more emotional swings because I guess my hormones are out of whack because I was such at low body fats. And I don't recommend that for anyone unless you're trying to compete on stage.
What were you doing to get to that level?
So that's when you have to get down to the nitty gritty where you have to track your weight every day. You track your protein, carbs, and fats, and then fiber to keep your stools healthy. And every time you see any jump in weight, you kind of have to change up certain things, maybe lower carbs by 50 grams, things like that. I haven't done that in a while. Now I'm more of a intuitive eating approach where I just prioritize protein and fiber and carbs and fats, which kind of just fall into my calories. You know what I mean?
Were you guys like grocery people when you were on the road, or did you just try to go places that are...
We probably went to the grocery store to get like bags of salad maybe like 5 times in our career.
Yeah, you could do that type of stuff like that. When I was more serious about like, hey, I really got to get lean, I'll just go to the grocery store, maybe get some tuna and stuff like that. But my approach is definitely different. I kind of made it a point that you can eat like a lot of like quote unquote unhealthy food and get super lean because I am more of on the belief that you can having just good body composition, getting a lot of fat loss gets rid of a lot of morbidities. So in order to get fit, my approach, similar to what BCD was saying, is that especially in the beginning, you have to try to figure out some way that's going to be enjoyable because you have to think about it in the long term. If you're going to do something where I've done, and this is like right before blackjack, if you do something where it's just like super extreme and you actually hit your goal. One of my favorite books is by Lane Norton and it's called Fat Loss Forever. The premise of the book is that like America usually doesn't really have a fat loss problem. It's a keeping the fat off problem, right? Most people, they get on diets and they hit their goal. The problem is that once they hit their goal, they get like into like a crazy rebound because you get super hungry and you think you've hit your goal and you think you can do it forever. and then you just get super, super like out of shape and fat. And that the photos that I showed you is like the result of that. Before I sent you those photos, I was pretty lean, but it was just very, very skinny. I had abs. I just blew up after that. So you have to try to create something that's sustainable. Get on some sort of fitness plan that you think you're going to be able to do for a long time, and you start little. And then also with the diet, my approach to the diet, I wanted to so after that, those fat pictures that I sent you, my goal was to show people that, hey, I can eat Snickers, I can eat pizza, I can eat ice cream, but you got to figure out how to incorporate that into your calories. If you're going to just eat those foods, you're going to be starving, right? Because you're going to have like one of those meals. You're going to have like one meal the whole day because you've hit all your calories for the day so fast. You'll be starving, and then that in itself becomes unenjoyable. So that's where BCD, I agree with him, where he's saying that just like his buffet technique, you kind of want to fill up all your proteins so you're just satiated, because it's the balance of being satiated first, and then when you have that mental like craving, you don't have to feel guilty that, oh, I can hit my calories even if I'm over maybe 300 calories just for today. Like, I'm gonna have that Snickers or something like that, because you don't want to fall off the wagon where like, oh, I already messed up, so I'm just gonna binge, which will definitely happen.
I mean, so it sounds like your approach was kind of like you're not going to the grocery store and getting a week of food and prepping it at the hotel, and you're just kind of going to the same places that all of us card counters drive by, but just trying to choose better. I just want to do a quick rapid fire here. I'm going to give you, I have like some of the top places with the most locations in the country. So like, okay, you're at Subway. What are you getting?
Subway, turkey, roast beef, possibly. I usually skip the cheese, skip the sauce. If anything, if I go sauce, I go like a barbecue, hot or a buffalo, and then I just stick with the whole grain or honey oat. Is that one? Or Italian, even Italian, because Italian has low calories but no fiber. If you go whole grain, you have fiber but more calories.
Yeah, I'll pick any meat that I'm craving. Like, I'll have the rotation. Like, if I can't just eat chicken all the time, it'll get bland. So I'll have chicken or turkey because they're leaner for the most part. But then if I want some beef, then I'll have beef.
Philly cheesesteak.
Just have something. Yeah, have it. But just be aware of the calories and think about you just want to think, okay, I know 40 grams of protein, especially meats, any type of like actual meats, not even protein powder. Meat itself. Well, we always had protein shakes on deck. That's probably what we always had on hand. Look, yeah.
No.
But we always have protein shakes on hand. But if I'm at Subway, yeah, just make sure I have as much meat that I know I'm going to be full, and then pack it with veggies as well, because those are going to be quote unquote empty calories. They're not empty, but they're going to fill you up super fast. If you want to add a little bit of sauce, have something that's going to have enough kick where it'll taste good. It has to taste good a little bit, but just think in the back of your mind, if it's like, hey, do I want a cookie at the end of the night? Then you have to account for that.
That's something I have to say too. Grocery stores, we used to go to Costco and buy a bunch of pre-made protein shakes. Like, the Premier Proteins, the Muscle Milks. We just carry that everywhere we went because we don't know where we're staying. And then we just drink that every 3-4 hours just to get a protein boost. And if we're staying at a table for like 20 hours, at least we could tell the other one, hey, can you bring me a protein shake? And,
Okay. Taco Bell. What would you order to be healthy there?
Chicken quesadilla without the sauce. Another one is the Katina chicken bowl that has very low calories. I think it's 540 calories, and it comes with guac, sour cream, tomatoes. And if you ask them no sour cream and guac, it actually goes lower. So probably like a 500 calorie, 480 calorie meal.
You could just do their bean burrito too, which is bean and onion. There's no cheese, no nothing in it.
Yeah, that's good fiber, good protein,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? Oh, that's easy. Grilled chicken sandwich, grilled nuggets, and then low-calorie sauce.
What about McDonald's? The quintessential one.
McDonald's, they do have grilled chicken alternatives, but if I were to choose, I always go for a double quarter pounder. Double quarter pounder, no cheese, maybe no ketchup, no whatever, but extra onion, pickles, and that's about like 50 grams of protein for only like less than 800 calories. That's pretty good. I gotta admit.
Do you care about the bread? Do you care about the bun? Or
if I have a Big Mac, I'll take out one slice.
The middle one?
The middle one, exactly. The worst one.
And you're skipping fries every time,
Every time. Always go for diet drinks as well. I love the waffle fries, so.
Do you guys drink soda?
We drink all the time.
We drink a lot.
Interesting.
Only diet.
There is actually a study of people that drink any type of like quote unquote 0-calorie drinks. They lose like the most fat out of any people that even
satiates their sweet tooth.
Yeah.
We have a good tip for all these card counters for diet drinks on the road.
Yeah. Oh man.
Panera Bread. Go to Panera Bread and join the Sip Cup rewards, and you can refill every 2 hours, unlimited drinks. So we get either coffees there, or we get our diet drinks, and we do it all the time.
Coffee, Pepsi. Then you have free Wi-Fi.
I know.
Then you go to the gym.
What about all the claims that it's like diet soda is not? It can get people into trouble because their appetite just grows with intensity because your brain is being tricked that it's like not actually sugar.
No,
for diet. That's gonna be another podcast, bro.
Actually, you know what you see, you know what? It might be kind of weird. I mean, we can't think about this now. Like obviously, like all of these foods might sound kind of bland, but when you start doing it, and as long as you're full. When you go back to the older foods, they're actually more overpowering. Like everything starts tasting better. Everything starts tasting better. Because I remember when I was super unhealthy, everything just tasted like salt. Everything was just like nothing tasted good because just like I need something a lot more kick and more flavor, more fatty, so more salty. But when you're on diet and you're just drinking diet sodas and everything, when you go back to regular soda, it's like, oh man, that's crazy sweet.
Yeah, when you cut out sugar, it's crazy how everything, even ketchup, can be like, whoa, there's a lot of sugar in this ketchup when you taste it. So you two are the Planet Fitness Black Card fans, right? Because there's so many locations and it's a fixed price. Were you part of any other gyms or any success on any other chains or?
Absolutely, Anytime Fitness, not 24-hour fitness, Anytime Fitness. They actually have a key fob that you can use. And you can just scan in anytime. There's no one really at the front desk, and it's 24 hours. There's everywhere. Everywhere there's a Planet Fitness, there's usually an Anytime 30 minutes out. And on top of that, there's private showers. There's, all that. Private showers and actually barbells. Yeah. And at least Joe can curl more than 75 pounds.
And those places come in clutch too. Sometimes when you don't have let's say you're on the road and there's a snowstorm and you can't, and then there's no vacancy in certain hotels and stuff like that. You just hang out at the gym parking lot, or go inside the gym and take a shower and hang out there for a little bit.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I discovered when all the gyms were closed, I discovered really heavy resistance bands, and those I used for a year. And there's this guy, he runs Undersun Fitness, and you don't have to get these, but he sells bands, but also a workout program. It shows you how to use them, but. Basically, it's this guy's jacked and he doesn't lift any weights. He's just bands, but they're not the thin, small bands at physical therapy. These are really, really thick, super, super heavy. And it's so good for hotel rooms if there's not a gym or you don't want to pay for a gym membership. Sometimes I still use them if I don't feel like driving to the gym. If I want to work out at home, I'll just do that. And I mean, you can get some serious extra large bands to do push-ups or anything. And
you could just Google crappy or shitty hotel gym workouts. There's a lot of good workouts you can do with not a lot.
Absolutely.
Go to Costco, get a what's it called? The water jugs or stuff, and just start curling that. Put in your luggage and start curling that. Maybe put a backpack on and just start squatting. Like jail workouts.
No, but yeah, if you guys are thinking about a world, like you were saying, workouts, a routine, obviously we're thinking more so of from a bodybuilding aspect or just muscle building. It's pretty simple. Our split is pretty simple. I mean, mine is just either a push, pull, and a lower. And however you want to combine that or split that, that's fun for you and comfortable for you and what's available. Because ideally, now that I'm home all the time, I primarily only do barbells, like squat, bench, deadlift, and then I just do other variations. But when I was on the road playing blackjack, all I had was Planet Fitness, so I'd have to do some sort of variation of that. So as long as you do a vertical press, a horizontal press, a vertical pull, horizontal pull, and then just some legs, I think you'll be fine. That aspect doesn't have to be super complex. Just do something in that variation. This is my anecdotal tip. If you want to just look good, For anybody that's not into fitness and you want to think like, hey, what's the fastest way I'll just look good?
Take steroids.
Just
oh, what?
oh damn! All right, now
My bad.
No, just do arms every day. Do like biceps and triceps every day.
So now we're bros. We're bros.
Yeah, but that little thing will just give you the motivation. It's like, hey, looking good and being fit kind of gives you a little bit of confidence and just changes your mental state. So maybe it'll give you that little pep to work out everything else.
Until the pit boss makes fun of your chicken legs, and then you start getting depressed.
Excuse you, Joe. I take offense to that. I squat, I deadlift, I do all the things you're supposed to do, and my legs just get more ripped. They do not get bigger. It's ridiculous. What about sleep value on the road? As you guys know, sleep is a huge part of recovery, especially when you're focusing on muscle build. But overall, just trying to be healthy, sleep is one of the most undervalued things there is.
Well, when you're an AP, sometimes you just get super lazy where all you do is sleep.
Yeah.
But you want to be able, you get to get as much sleep as you can because you want to play a longer, like I was always of the mindset, it's like as soon as I sit down, who knows, I'll be there for 16, 20 hours. That's the mindset I always had. Mm-hmm. When I was on the road, especially if I'm planning just being on the road and you don't know which town you're going to be in, I always kept thinking that I'm going to play, Thursday through Sunday, and then I'm going to be resting the rest of the week or driving to the next state. So you play hard, you rest hard.
Yeah. We used to have this like routine that we wake up and then we look at each other to see if the other one's up too. And if he's still sleeping, I keep going back to sleep. And then he wakes up, he looks at me. If I'm still sleeping, then he goes back to sleep. Once we're finally tired of playing that wake-up game, we end up going to the gym, working out, showering, and then we hit the tables.
Oh, yeah.
We did that every single time.
Yeah, that was basically the road life.
That's the road life.
You sleep as much as you can, and then you go eat, make sure you're satiated, so you're going to play a long session. Everything was just to prepare you for that long session.
Yeah. Prepare for war every time.
Hydration.
Oh, yeah, hydration's key.
Yeah, just drink Diet Coke.
Yeah, you were talking about 0-calorie beverages in the study. I drink a 0-calorie beverage all the time. It's called water, BCD. That's what I drink.
Hydration-wise, yeah, when we drink a lot of protein shakes, diet drinks.
Yeah, water.
We drink water too in the gym, but I feel like
hydration is big.
Yeah, it's big. We haven't felt dehydrated, have you?
No, not really.
Plus, take some creatine, you'll be all right.
Yeah, creatine, we take that all the time too.
So the main things you're avoiding when you're on the road, essentially, from what I've been hearing, is a lot of sauces. That's in everything. Fried foods, which are just dominate the landscape when you're on the road.
Yeah, because not to get too technical, and obviously we're not scientists or anything, but we track our macros, right? And if anybody that's interested listening to this, with macros, right, you have protein, carbs, and fats, proteins and carbs. Like for 1 gram of protein or carbs, it's worth 4 calories. And if you get 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So that's like more than double of both of them combined or any of them. So you want to cut down on foods that are high in fat, because now you're going to be starving for the most part. So get foods that fill you up. Protein, especially like from some types of meats, those will fill you up. Carbs will give you energy. So, and then when you have the fats, that's what's going to give you taste, and it's good for your hormones. But I say I always try to get around between 40 to 60 grams of fats. So
per day.
Yeah, per day. So just make sure you get something that's filling. Then you can have something after you're going to be filling. Then you think about taste after that.
I forgot which doctor kind of framed it this way, but I kind of always think of it when I'm at a place and I'm trying to choose on the menu. It's like, instead of thinking about like, oh, what foods are like good, what foods are inherently bad, or like you kind of frame it as, you always have to think of whatever you're choosing. It's like, is it healthy compared to what? Because realistically, like, oh yeah, in a perfect world, we would all like at whatever city we're in, get all of our meals made like in a home cooked, environment and be able to bring it with us. But that's not really realistic. And kind of what you guys are doing are just, you're driving around to all the same places that we all have to go through, but just trying to choose the best way you can in combination with a lot of exercise. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good trick is when you go to any fast food restaurant, you always look at the calories of whatever you're getting by itself, obviously, not a meal. And then from there, you kind of can search up how much protein does that contain. And from there, you'll kind of, I would say a good rough thing to stand by is anywhere from 30 to 40 grams of protein is a good way to start.
Yeah. My mindset of the whole thing with dieting and lifting is, well, specifically for dieting, it's like, it's got to satiate certain things, right? It's got to satiate your stomach, right? And then it's got to satiate your mental state. It's got to satiate whether it tastes good. So it's that balance of everything. That's why you're trying to make that balance of something that you can do forever, and you can tailor make it. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day. If you mess up, you have one day where you binge, you just get back on it. So
it's a long game, always.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. There's so many confusing things about health out there on the internet. Everybody's got their special diet or whatever. And I just think the most important thing, and I don't know if you guys agree, and I don't know if you agree, Joe, but like protein has got to be at the top of the list for eating. It just has to be. And even if you're a vegan, like you have to prioritize protein.
Yeah, because it just fills you up with protein. Just get your protein in. At least a gram of protein per body weight.
Yeah.
the two universal things, no matter what camp you're in, it's always minimizing the fried food and the sugar, added sugar.
Yeah. Just go for grilled alternatives too.
I think that gets missed a lot when people think about sugar, because I think personally sugar is the devil, but its added sugar is the devil. And also the form of sugar that you're eating. So if you drink an apple juice versus eating an apple, well, that's not necessarily added sugar if it's squeezed apple juice. However, that's just liquid glucose at a massive amount going into your body all at once. Whereas when you eat the apple, it's balanced with fiber and other things, and your body processes it different. But the priority is added sugar, like you said, Joe. Like you have to look at that. Sugars and fruits, eating fruit is not bad for you. It never will be. It'd be very difficult for you to become fat off of eating apples or bananas or strawberries.
Yeah, getting your fruits in is good too, because that I just think about it from satiating levels. Like I like sweets. I love sweets. That's probably why dieting is hard for me. So I always eat ice cream and candy bars and everything when we go out. But even in my diet, even when I get super lean, like these pictures I just sent you, I implement those, but I have to make sure everything else is covered first, so I'm not starving. And then because when I'm starving, then I'm just gonna binge eat.
Yep.
For sure. I think the less added sugar you eat too, the sweeter fruit becomes to you as well.
Yeah. I like a bowl of strawberries. I like kiwis.
Blueberries are great.
Well, guys, do you have anything else to add? Like, or do you want to like summarize like essentially the way you approach life on the road, or even now you're running a barbershop? Like there's stresses in that too. You're dealing with a lot and you're cutting hair and you're getting appointments in. So you still have to prioritize, how you eat.
Like right now, I think it's worse.
I'll tell you
I think I'm more
technique.
healthier on the road now.
I'll tell you my technique. So what I do every morning, I get 2 scoops of whey protein and I shake it up, bring it with me to work, and I'm cutting the whole day. But every like 2-3 hours, I would drink half of it, or let's say I did 3 scoops, I would drink a third of it, then drink the other third every 3 hours or so, and keep doing that. By the time it hits nighttime, when I'm done, then I can kind of indulge in the things I like, because I already probably hit like 70 to 90 grams of protein. That's kind of what I do, and it's, what's the hardest thing to really get in your diet? Protein, right? So I try to take that out of the equation right away, so I can have my fun Twixes and, ice cream at night.
I'll add to that really quick. I read this and I've lived by it. The best thing you can do to start your day is eat protein. It is the best thing you can absolutely do for yourself. What about you, Smurf? You want to summarize anything or any last minute pro tip?
Yeah, my thing is just think about what you're going to be able to do till you're like 80, forever. Whatever approach you're going to do, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's keto, whether it's, just make it enjoyable. Don't think, like, if you're going to think like you're just going to get lean and fit, you probably hit that goal, but right after it, the rebound is hard. You have to create habits, and don't beat yourself up when you fall off, but do something that where you have the motivation right now. So create the habit of some sort of diet that you're going to stick to, and weightlifting. So think about the number one thing. Think about how you're going to feel, like satiate yourself physically, and then mentally later for like sweets. So get your protein in. Make sure your meal will, number one, first will be filling, and then you can see how much it'll taste good.
Dieting is a lifestyle change. It's a habit. It's developing good habits that you could sustain to forever, pretty much, you know? So that's how we see dieting. It's not even just a diet. It's just a lifestyle choice, and just keep doing it over and over, developing those habits and continue to live by it. If you absolutely hate something, you're never going to abide by it over time.
Same with the gym. Just show up. Keep showing up.
Exactly. Develop those good habits and becomes normal routine after a while.
And from the older guys, Joe and I, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's important. Trust us, young kids. It's important.
Yeah.
Thank you, BCD and SmurfAP, for all of your tips on getting gains at the table and getting gains at the gym. Best of luck to your endeavor on the barbershop enterprise.
Thank you. It's always good talking and catching up with you guys.
Take it easy, boys.
And for more info on cord canning, you can visit blackcheckapprenticeship.com or visit the Blackcheck Apprenticeship YouTube channel.